the economy behind utility usage. Him on mountaintops on Miramar. No one did it before him. He was there, and just their whole playstyle, their approach to the game, as we now head on over to Erangel once more to match number 2 of this final day of groups.
And it's just shaping up to be, again, so close. As the desk was saying, this has been the craziest group stage because there really isn't, as they were saying, a weak link, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you can pick out maybe 1 or 2 teams that are doing that well, but the fact that the midfield is this close is just, it's got to be crazy stressful as well for the players.
Now, I've been repeating myself and talking about nice plane paths. This one, I'm not going to repeat that sentiment because
I dare you.
This is arguably the most western plane path you can get on all of Erangel. But in all fairness, if we are to go by yesterday's standards, this game is somehow going to end east of Rostock. We're somehow going to swing all the way back east, but look for all drop spots, even on Military Island, even on Erangel as a whole, because the plane is so far west, even Milta is practically unreachable.
Yeah, and we were kind of joking about it together while we were waiting for the game to start. I would love a Zarki circle. That is,
never had it.
Dude, it is one of the, it's my favorite area in Erangel, first of all, but it's just, there's actually so many ridges and fun areas around Zarki to find. Zarki itself also is multi-leveled, right? So you have a lot of different buildings. We don't really get them often, but it's a very fun area to end.
Well, we're not. What?
There you go.
Look at the plane path and look at where the line of the circle is.
Yeah.
So, for those of you guys who don't know, circles tend to always touch the plane path. This is as east as this circle could have gone. We have about 3 of the 16 teams inside the first circle. Everyone's going to be scrambling seeing this. Wait, we don't loot Milton normally, but if we go there now, I mean, that's going to be free, right? This is going to be insane.
And fortunately for the Expendables, they've realized that they're going to be one of the first teams, the beneficiaries of the circle, because they're going to be the first ones in Milta or any area around that, whether they want to go a little bit north of Milta, take those flat tops, very strong positions to early game scout, as well as take control of some rotations. You even have E-Arena now posturing. VP, who decided to go to military base, will have a somewhat easy rotation as long as they don't get camped there. So for all the other teams, you know, we're definitely looking at that western edge to start to be a little bit of a sore spot for rotations.
Well, the race to the east has begun, and E-Arena is maybe not in the lead of it, at least not for now, because Expendables did beat them to it, but they're going to full speed send it right in behind the rest. Now, as we're seeing the rotations come through, the loot game get going, I want to take a second to go back to day trade, because not only did they win a phenomenal match here in the previous one, full control on the island top from start to finish, but they have figured a way to incorporate a structure within the organization that I think only really APAC teams have been fully successful with. Their ability to pick up players that have yet to turn 18, yet to be eligible to play competitive PUBG, and kind of have them on the academy/bench position and let them watch, quote-unquote, the big boys play, learn from them to then be filtered in as the days go on. If we look, for example, at a player like Belmoth, started as a substitute on the team, he realized after a year and a half, I don't just want to be a sub, I want to actually, like, I'm old enough now, guys, sub me in, I want to go play. He was then traded to Sharper Esports back in 2021, where he, I mean, rein in. Don't do this to me.
I thought he was gonna drive straight into the water.
Okay, you know what? I'll hold that thought for a second, because T1 seems like they are very eager to get shot at on rotation. They're doing donuts in front of Sissy, and yes, of course, E-Arena will find that. Takes the first elimination of the game, as now T1 a little late to it, maybe, but they are coming in a 3v1 against Sissy, who's trying to make a run for it.
And that smoke could buy him a little bit of time, but no, they're going to vault right after him, and so he's going to have to run as fast as his legs will carry to try to get away from the rest of the angry members of T1, as this was a smart position, though, for them to end up on, especially because that bridge is essentially center circle.
These pink rabbits are fast. We'll see if he's fast enough to get across the road before T1 gets eyes on him. I think they're definitely confused that he managed to get out of there alive, especially now. Panzerfaust and hand raining. Watch out, using those inside. Can't get you self-eliminated.
Wow, he just pre-fired the corner. Okay.
I think he saw the mannequin in the corner and thought it was a player. Either that or that was the most insane pre-fire I've seen in a very long time. Wow, okay, T1 is here to fight. I think the jitters are kind of on their hands right now. They're a little shaky, which I understand. But guys, Breathe. This is still doable. You lost one player. You can turn this around. Well,
Maybe.
now you might have lost two.
Yeah, Ian will actually go down, so Tigger will find another knock. And again, for a team that started off rather poorly yesterday, managed to bring it back. This is kind of a mirroring situation here.
Yeah. Definitely is. No third team has really opted to engage so far. We are seeing Virtus.pro on the southern side, obviously hearing this, seeing parts of it too. Not sure if they're eager to aggress, as Alphaca able to find yet another one. Damage done on both sides as Rainin, alongside his team at Alphaca, is trying to make something off of this trigger one. But for E-Arena really sat at 15 points in their final day. They cannot go out with a single point here.
No, they needed to actually wipe the team and get rid of T1. Oh no, the smokes will actually cover him.
Yep.
But as I was saying, E-Arena, they needed to have a good start. Getting that first knock on T1 was that good start, but now it's all starting to fall apart, and now Virtus.pro will start to get involved.
Virtus.pro is starting to find eliminations on Expendables, who also have up there just to take this fight. This is the two. These are the parents at the kids' football game that are starting to go, no, guys, these are doing something. Let's just stay back, watch the guys do their thing, and then we'll engage afterwards. But now they're starting to have a brawl on the sidelines.
You see Clories there starting to set up just to the west side, maybe looking for a flush, but none given to him. As you said, VP was like, hey,
just keep rotating.
So Ibby will back off, and wisely so. They'll leave Quizzy there for the moment. I mean, he has a vehicle he'll be able to pull off if he needs to, but yeah, still just fishing for these points.
Also, we got to keep in mind there's a fairly decent chance this one could swing back to military again.
Yeah.
So don't want to go too far. Don't want to go too far into the mainland. If you're Virtus.pro, might as well set up a bit of a highway towards that eastern shoreline of Milta. That would be definitely the way to go about it. This fight, though, has quieted down, at least for now. Casualties on all sides. As Alphaca still outside. Knows exactly where he has Quizzy, but can't quite get the angle on him. Maybe he can flame him out there. We'll see if Rainin can catch him on the other side of the building.
And E-Arena, and I was about to say T1 not really winning or benefiting from this at all.
No.
E-Arena, to their credit, only lost one. Meanwhile, T1 is now just down to one player.
In the meantime, towards Yasnaya, because why not when the circle is further south? Tianba, All Gamers Global rotating through one another. Again, I mean, this takes me back to our Miramar game of yesterday when we have these very, very difficult plane paths and teams are forced to do awkward rotations. They're going to be running into one another because their timings, it's just you can't predict them. You don't know what's going to happen. It's impossible to prepare for. So therefore, teams will get tangled up as they make their way east, and we see it up by Yasnaya here once again.
And that's a great point. You can prepare as much as you want, but when you get a wrench thrown into the mix like this, like a plane path, like not only the plane path, but then the circle pop, right? Exactly. It just completely shatters what your original plan could have been. And so Alphaca, just the last member alive here, Rainin, ultimately no chance of getting res, trying to play his life and just hoping that E-Arena realistically doesn't push this as a squad and just get rid of him.
Exactly. Sizzy has been seen. Alphaca want to keep his teammate alive, but I don't think there's any way he's going to get this done unless if he full commits to the fight across the street. Virtus.pro realizing that there's a team that has now backfilled them. That is their kind of transition back to military, tempered with, at least for now, should this next circle take us back in that direction. But as this quiets down for a brief second, I just want to finish my point on day trade and say that Belmoth, he left the team, didn't want to sub, came back in because he was too good to not be on the roster anymore. They kind of threw him out as a sub, brought him back in as a starter, and now he's the captain of the team. So a nice transition from being brought in as an academy guy, too young to play, to now be the captain on the roster.
I mean, Tycon followed a similar path, right, with Cerberus, but
it's the APEC way of doing things, and I really do like it because it gives the players a joy, or like a more, I guess, to some extent, love and feel for the org they're part of, rather than them just being a jersey they're wearing. Not saying that's the case for everyone else. As we see more of these early game shambles going on, Tianba, the unfortunate losers of all of this, as now Tycon
speaking of Tycon,
up on the hunt 7-7, trying to make a run for it.
He's going to pull out the DMR, maybe get a few shots in, but he's got to be careful. Pow Pow. And that vehicle is moving super slow. So he fortunately will survive, and here's the pull-up now from Cert T. Can he find this knock? Oh, the jump over!
Nice timing from Pow Pow. Goes for the reload. 13 bullets in hand, but Pow Pow able to find the double. We'll see if he can get the third. Oh, just behind the vehicle goes his opponent as Pow comes around the corner, takes him down. 7-7, now trying to reset. It's just him left alive, Tycon. And Pow wants to take him out. They want to get Sir T back on his feet. We'll see the push come through. Tycon locks on over, peeks on forward, catches him with nade in hand, and that is going to be Tianba.
Oh,
No,
what is that shift?
Shifts back to military.
And you know what's funny is I was going to mention earlier,
Look at the east.
before Luna had even started making it across that bridge, I was going to say they're probably better off just waiting on the south side on Millie base to see what the circle does. Fortunately, they don't take any losses, and now they will be the ones to once again, if you remember last game, choose exactly where they want to play.
I am at a loss for words. The only way this could be even wilder than it is already is if it shifts back north again. Let's see.
Oh, man.
52 alive, phase 2. 10 minutes in, we've lost 12 players already. Danua looking to the south. They have, of course, heard all of the commotion earlier. That's Anonix with an SKS, best team on the game, in hand. Peeks towards the south, tries to figure out what's happening down here. Seeing a ton of vehicles on the move, and probably just having to forfeit, realizing, guys, I don't think this journey over to Millie is going to be as simple as we had hoped for.
You know, definitely not. As I said, Luna with a lot of room to work with. BB, though, getting there so much quicker, have already actually set up here on top of this hill. And so they once again in a position to get a lot of kills, especially once the chaos dies down. Meanwhile, on the north side, Day Trade is taking a nice little E pickup past the Sonics, who have decided to stay just on the east side, or at least two members, or one. Is it just Norrens?
They're simply sending Norrens
just
across to the other side in similar fashion to what we saw with Anonix in the previous game, sending one guy over scout, see if he can lock down a position. If he can, great. If he fails, well, we only lost one guy.
But the thing is, the difference is that while Anonix was in the air coming down, the other members were already on the island. The difference here is that the rest of Day Trade still have to make that rotation. And as you can see, the Gladiators are somewhat set up already on that western bridge.
Okay, so a lot of teams are opting to go down here. Sparking arguably taking the easiest route to military. Either this or E-pickups would be the best. This might, though, trump E-pickups, mainly because with E-pickups you're in the situation where you get out of your plane or your, I guess, harness, and you don't have a vehicle. This time around, he's still going to have his glider, should he park it all right, on the ground of that potential northern shift back again.
Plus, TSM actually are making landfall in Novo, and so they're going to be able to pick up those vehicles no problem. And so, yeah, much better situation there for TSM as E-Arena now actually making their way towards that direction as they are starting to make a rotation towards the south side of the circle. Sparking, though, already on radio tower.
I'm still trying to comprehend not only the initial fight, but T1's approach to it. I don't like to just sit on one team forever and kind of call them out, but it just seems very miscommunicated, the way that they're approaching that fight as now. We see Twisted Minds. They have heard the shots from Virtus Pro further down the eastern side of military base proper, and they are making their way down here. But do they know that they have Nixie and Luca right nearby? I'm not sure.
Maybe meanwhile on the south side, just gatekeeping a little bit here on one of these mounds, as these bunkers, you know, when they're in, are notoriously easy to get in, very difficult to get out of. But EB not necessarily contending with that issue right now, is Petrichor as well rotating in the blue. It looks like quite a few of these teams, in fact, All Gamers Global coming in right behind them looking for that western bridge as well. Oh, and it kind of does.
I mean, north is in, but we know it's going to shift south.
This is going to be a very difficult finish, though, Toby, because that coastline does not really offer that much cover.
I mean, you say the coastline all the way down to where BB team is. We really only have 3 buildings left in this circle altogether outside of the very far western compound. It's definitely going to be a tricky one. If we look towards the center of the circle here, we see Pow Pow's valiant effort, jumps on over, catches an opponent with nade in hand. Cest falls as his shoulder is visible too. Almost had got the third there as well. That could have been a 1v4, but it wasn't to be.
So now looking at the rest of this map, you see Day Trade actually taking shots, and it somewhat scared Petrichor away. Meanwhile, the last member of Day Trade, Norrens, is slowly making his way behind the Gladiators, who wisely have actually chose to camp whatever teams may be coming in from that west bridge.
This is what I was just alluding to before. Twisted Minds will find one of Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro realizing too late that Twisted was in the nearby vicinity. They're spread very thin. They still have EB down towards the south. Lookarook's in military base proper as well. Nixie right now is all by himself. He needs to find Lou, and it's not going to happen. Lou spots him out up above, will take him out, and again, simply nothing Virtus Pro could do to really prevent this push come through because they were split too thin.
And this has been the problem though for VP, right? Game after game, they just cannot seem to. I mean, this circle, I'll give them a little bit of a break, but they just have not been able to make it past. It seems like circle 3, circle 4, with more than 2 members alive.
True. It's definitely not been easy for them. Danoa now coming in the southern side, rotating all the way around the south tip of the island as they peek on forward here. Deal, formerly known as a Babsanghet, will make his way alongside the teammates further towards the east. They're backfilling BP team effectively. Are they just going to full speed send it underneath? Where are you opting to stop, guys?
It looks like it, and this is actually very widespread. Twisted Minds could get involved in this if they see the fight go through. Meanwhile, Norins, oh no, that's a big knock.
Yeah.
For day trade, or against day trade.
Unlucky loss. He got in too close, and he's going to go down because of it now. In the meantime, BP team trying to fend off against Danoa. Twisted Minds is there to join them as well. As I think Danoa very quickly realizing that what they were set up to do was not bound to work out for them. Just one player left alive, and that's going to be Danoa. Completely torn apart by BP team and Twisted Minds.
That rotation was so risky as they were going to have to, like we said, go in between multiple teams, especially on the face of that hill with the barracks kind of overlooking it. That was always going to be a challenge, and so they will fail to rise to it as now Game & Gladiators still continuing to keep tabs on this western bridge. And you see Dante now trying to almost corral Thanadol in their direction, the last member of Day Trade.
And everyone's scrambling to try and get inside this next circle. TSM, a little tribute to 2017 TSM. Playing in the blue, fighting in the blue as they too make their way towards the next circle. We all know it's going to shift south, and indeed it does. Luna Galaxy sat dead center in this one. Currently our second to last team. They need to make something of this circle shift.
Also Sonics, I mean, that's going to be a very fortunate circle for them. They have, for the most part, been chasing circles. Last game as well, they were given a chance, but sandwiched between multiple teams. They made it at least to the top 8. This time, with a big opportunity to get the points that they desperately need at 38, currently at 18th.
Let's see as things, again for a second, quiet down, but you don't get to breathe in and out more than once or twice because fights are about to happen. BP team well aware that Twisted Mind is just over the other side of this hill. They're hearing the cars coming in, and I think that is a fight that should be popping off any second. Now, in the meantime, Gaming Gladiators will opt to go further towards the north. We'll see if Pin can somehow lock down Day Trade's last player, Thanadol. He's sat in the shack with not a whole lot to work with.
And that shack is going to be his Alamo, essentially. I mean, he's not getting out of it, especially because Gaming Gladiators have actually found that position. Meanwhile, we do see Tycon and the boys from AGG making landfall, at least a little bit of cover. We'll see. That was an empty car, just all those Lookarucks, actually.
But how do they make their way off this shoreline? That's what I'm concerned about, right? I mean, they get Lookarucks, he's down, that's solid. Now, in the meantime, back towards Platoons we go. We said it before, and we saw it kind of in the making. BP team and Twisted will have to fight for this one at some point. I don't see how Twisted can wrap around them, get inside the circle here, without confronting BBT's location.
Yeah, and BB, again, just gatekeeping that south side, with TSM also having to contend with Gladiators if they want to come in the southwest, and then Petrichor slowly making their way across. They're actually swimming here as the potential for a fight here. Lou has to be very careful. Spyro just waiting in the wings right underneath him.
The amount of pink-colored logos in the bottom side, or whatever you want to call it, that color.
Peach?
Shrimp.
Shrimp color.
Shrimp red, I don't know. Salmon red on the southern side of the map right now. Not easy. Ixlef wanted to get off the beach. Didn't really end up happening for him. He will fall on approach. The issue is he's going to be the first one from Petrichor to do so. So for the remaining 2 players, Summer and Ming, still out in the water. They will now be seen. Ming is trying to make a run for it. 360s. We'll see if that's going to grant him some safety as he at least gets to the corpse of his fallen teammate. Maybe there's a smoke there. Maybe there's a bit more cover that he can deploy to try and make the run further forward.
And the fact that there was a smoke there at all is really his saving grace, as you see Summer still trying to make it onto the beach, but Sir T not really giving them any break at all. Is actually Sapao and Tycon are making this push. They want to eliminate the team as fast as possible, but now here we have the fight between TSM and Gaming Gladiators, as they have opened it up. Smokes as well abound, a spray coming from Dante, but he won't be able to finish it.
This is going to be a big fight, a lot of space to be claimed on the western side of the circle for whoever comes out victorious. TSM looking forward. Now with the circle going further towards the east, they know there's a space that they don't really need, but they have to take the fight in order to move further forward. Gaming Gladiators are on the defensive. They're waiting this one out. This could be a very solid flash from Alo, lopped on forward. No lethal utils for TSM, or they would have probably used it already. You can see Purdy on the flank around the side, trying to get the angle onto Pin, as he's now being shot from afar.
Yeah, but the afar is really not going to be the main issue here. Is actually Ibby. It is. Ibby will find the knock, and that opens a huge window for TSM to push forward.
Everyone in trouble. They simply took too long in the engagement, and now the team safely inside the circle are starting to feast as they look down in this direction. Alo has to reload inside the smoke, still trying to make his way further forward, but he's lost track of his opponent.
And then look at Aduzi now. Aduzi from BB Teams coming in for the backstab, trying to get as many points as possible. Alo will fall. It's just now down to Luke. He'll at least get the finish, but Aduzi will get Dante.
Complete carnage on the southwest side, and as you said, Aduzi's been sneaking up in this direction for forever now, though, forced to back off. Again, the remaining server, everyone to the east of here is looking in this direction, and look at that open hillside. There's literally no cover to be found outside of the tree that Luke is currently hiding behind a blown out vehicle, sure, but he cannot get to it. Tycon takes him down. 10 kills for All Gamers Global, 6 of which are on Tycon.
You know, they ended strong yesterday, and it seems like they're starting strong today, as they still maintain 3 members alive. Sonics, meanwhile, sat just in the middle around Luna Galaxy. The fights that are really going to matter here are going to be on the south side of the circle between BB Team, Twisted, and potentially New Happy. If they see the fight, if they're able to see that there is a third-party situation, they will absolutely take it.
Let's see now, E-Arena able to get themselves a bit of a reset, as their next push is, again, really bound to be over towards Expendables. Don't think they're going to be able to swing all the way around the compound, but having said that, there would actually be space should they succeed in doing so. But no, they're going south. They want to wrap the other direction. We'll see what they're opting to go for. There is a shack in this circle that they could try and full speed send it towards, and there might just be the play here. Lava smoke on forward. See if you can get in there, and indeed, they will.
Yeah, they're in there for now, but
Nate bait.
Nate bait potentially. I mean, the safetiness of that. I mean, the good thing as well for the duo of the Expendables is if that compound gets cut out, they can shift over to the west and play that hillside. There is a significant amount of cover. If you want to talk about this circle in general, probably most of the cover is going to be in that area. And so they'll survive for now. E-Arena as well bought a little bit of time with that, as New Happy now trying to get a little frisky on the south side.
I like what New Happy were trying to set up to do, or at least the way I read it is that they were pushing up the hillside, maybe trying to force Twisted Minds into BB Team, set up a third-party opportunity for themselves. Issue is now Expendables sees them up the hillside. They're miles out in the open. That is an angle they were not ready for. And, well, Tanvu is going to make it very, very hard for Longska to really get anything going. But with this circle shifting, I mean, there's not really a whole lot more they can do other than making the play, and now with Nan dead, I mean, they're pretty much done for.
Yeah, New Happy with a position, an opportunity to actually push forward and maybe take a little bit of control of the circle. We're actually gate-kept by the 2 duos.
I mean, the amount of crossfire lineups that these teams have on one another right now. Jacob from the opposite side of the circle taking out Perfectix. This is an incredibly difficult area for really everyone to play. Part of the reason why you really, I mean, you only have Luna Galaxy playing solidly inside the circle alongside Sonics, I suppose, in the compound on the other side. But there's also a reason that those 2 teams have 0 kills combined. They cannot take part in any of the action that's taking place right now. It's all these teams that are trying to fight their way further towards the circle that has to brawl for what would most likely be a 3rd place finish.
And that's just one of the key aspects of getting into a circle like this. Yes, great. It's one of the side effects. You do have the greatest position in the circle, but you're not able to really get anything off it. Not any fault of the team. It's not like Luna doesn't want to spread out, or it's not like Sonics doesn't want to get a little more aggressive, but they simply can't.
Exactly. That's even more so the reason why you've got to bring home wins when points are there to be garnered, not through kills, but through the placement points. The circles come your way. They continue, man. They continue. All Gaming Global. 12 kills so far, and they're not done yet. They still have 2 arena players in and around this shack. They're looking over towards Ming Ming, who currently finds himself prone on the hillside down towards Twisted Minds. He too, though, will have to move further forward. All Gaming Global will be inside the circle on this hilltop, and Tycon, with a double tap to the head, will find Sissy and instantly goes for shots over towards Twisted Minds as well.
Yeah, this is really hurting Twisted Minds' game plan. They would like to at least engage BB somewhat on their own terms, but the fact that the Expendables, and now really it was the Expendables, now it's AGG, are just not allowing them any room to do so. They're actually just getting shoved into this position where they now have to push right into Ming Ming, and a grenade could cause disaster.
Example comes down the hillside, takes a lot of damage, and all just taken down by Poser here as well. Lou now out of the car, down to low HP, but can't stop to heal. He knows he has Ming Ming just on the other side, and Ming Ming will find him, get the flush onto his teammate as well. Will get the second two, so again a salvage situation for New Abbey as they find 2 points just before they fall.
And just like that, that is it. Twisted Minds. Oh no, Batulin's still the last one alive. The other 2 members were the ones to fall. And so 5 kills. What can he do? A potential spray down. He gets 1. Phil first will fall, but he still has 3 more members to contend with.
We saw Bestalog on the peak before as well, but Bestalog sees him too. That's going to be Twisted Minds down and out. It's been a stalling battle for all these teams, with the circle closing in. They are forced to make plays happen. E-Arena still outside the circle, maybe trying to just heal through this one, see if there's a placement or 2 more to be found, as Lunar Galaxy, the first team to wrap back towards the Millie Island, get yet another blessing from the circle gods.
And if you're Sonics at this point, the play might even be to just wrap into that hillside that AGG is on, because there's really nothing to play on the west side. Pushing directly into Luna may just be suicide. I mean, I'm not even sure Sonics has any vehicles because they swam across, and so you just need to get as many points as possible, and AGG might just be that option.
Nice blue zone nade here. Jacob forced outside the building is going to prone, trying to get out of it, and actually it's going to be the actual blue zone and not the blue zone nade that gets the better of him. So no points garnered to All Gaming Global, but I think they're pretty satisfied with where they're currently set. 14 kills in this match so far. Still 3 alive, but they are also the team with the furthest to go here with this Western Circle shift.
BB team not immediately threatened. They still have a little bit of a ridge line to play here, and so they're not going to have to rotation. Really, the onus is going to be, as we said, on AGG and Sonics.
I mean, keep in mind, Sonics, look at their util. 11 smokes, 12 nades. They have yet to really do anything in this game. They've been very satisfied with getting to chill in the building for as long as they have. Now we'll see if they, with the util and full vests and helmets, can make something happen, as Haven is able to find a doozy. So BB team forced to, I was going to say stall for a bit, wanted to try and take out All Gaming Global on their push down the east side, but now has to go for the rest instead.
And Sonics now have to make that choice. The initial thought of trying to push towards AGG is gone now, as you said, they fortunately do have plenty of utility, but once they get on that doorstep of Luna, they also have a lot of grenades, and so that could be the winning factor for them, as they do have to start moving, closing. The circle is closing. They are on the slow side, so this buys them just a little more time.
Tycon crossed on over, no vest, but he does not care. He's going to sprint forward regardless, but half the server has eyes on him, and I don't think he's long for this world, no. Spiro will find him. Nice trade for Sapao, though. Not that I think it's going to matter for Tycon. No, he will fall, but Sapao is able to effectively use his teammate as bait to get yet another one. 15 kills. We'll see if Sapao can find more.
Possible. It's very possible, but he now has quite the run, and that smoke bouncing off of Tiggleton's back, but this is exactly what you were saying. They need to use that utility. They need to get as close as possible to Luna Galaxy so they can use those grenades to try to get the knocks and take over the best position in the circle.
12 nades available. We'll see if they hit the mark. Nades in return does hit their mark, as the Tonic's boys are forced to back off at least for now. But keep in mind, those smokes don't last forever, and they've deployed a fair amount of them. Only 3 left to work with, so they would want to make this play before they fade altogether, because they still have 3 members of BB teams up and alive that could get angles on this. Now the Western threat is done with. Now they can push further forward as the power falls.
And you know,
but this is it. The smokes are gone. They have no pathing.
They have a few smokes that they've thrown at the building, which is very smart to block off any of the angles, and Luna necessarily can't poke out either because they have BB team on their backside, and so they're kind of stuck in these buildings. Really, it's just Haven, the only one with a little bit of cover in that Shack's position to try to get a little bit of damage onto the Sonics.
They had the smoke line before, but those smokes are fading, and Bestelog is taking full advantage of it. Nice angle from him. 3 nades now in the hands of Vinny. There's only so many places that Sonics can be. They're setting themselves up for a quad nade, potentially, should one get placed just a bit further towards the west.
And they managed to get the heal off. This is actually so crucial, but no, Posa will find 3 with a beautiful spray.
Solid shots come through, and Sonics are dismantled by BP Team and Lunar Galaxy. No entry, held back, didn't dare to make the run through the smokes, and they pay the price.
And the utility coming through from Luna, the fact that they had those grenades is really what stunted that push from Sonics, but now it's BB Team. They still have a position to play here, but they will have to move first once this circle phase 9 happens.
BP Team, we'll see. They know exactly where they have Luna at this point. They're outnumbered, but they might, with a 3 or 2 for cover, be able to make something happen. The game will end on their side of the road. So if you can stall for long enough, there might just be a win to be had for you. Bestelog right on the edge of the circle. I'm not sure if he's just exactly, and he is able to sit put, at least for now, but look at this, no smokes. They have flashbangs, they have nades, they have mollies, but those don't matter because you're not within range to really get much use of them. You need smokes, you need cover. Luna Galaxy need the same, but they have 2. Where do you place your 2 nades when you have to make this cross?
I really don't know. I really don't know,
Toby. There's not a lot of
Toby.
space for 2 nades to cover.
I know we're supposed to be the ones that know everything, but I genuinely couldn't tell you at this point. Like I said, BB are the ones that have to move slightly earlier, only because they have the center circle on their side, yes, but they're currently sat against the edge of the blue.
Bestelog down to blue, prone down, couldn't really do a whole lot. Filfirst does get a knock in return. There might be something to be done here. Filfirst, obviously, with full knowledge of where Kraken is positioned, wants to go for the second. Adusi creeping ever so much further forward. Is he the one with a nade in hand? I'm not sure. Molly on the other side is Adusi. Is able to find one, but he gets himself mollied as well, and Vinny will take him out. And now it's down to just Filfirst up against Kraken and Vinny. And you know what? It makes perfect sense here to me that they go for the rest. They know that he might not have a lot of utility, at least not that he can use within that range. He's lobbing forward blue zone nades, maybe to try and isolate an angle, but I think they're coming through too late.
I don't know if they have enough time. I think that res actually might have cost them what little time they had. Vinny now making that push, and he's been spotted out by Phil.
Down to low HP. Posa is trying to make the run on forward. He still has the tree for cover. I don't think Filfirst sees him, but Filfirst finds Haven as well. Down to low HP now, though. Sat behind the shack. We'll see if he can take him out. Posa with the angle gets the headshot connected once again. Posa, half HP, but only 12 bullets in the chamber, but it would only need 1 in order to find him, and he will fall. Luna Galaxy in a hectic finish yet again on Millie Island.
Well, I think it was Cameron saying that, oh, there's no way that we go the 2 games of the day on Millie Island. I'm not sure. Someone on the desk said it, but man, Luna Galaxy desperately needed those points. Yes, it wasn't the most impressive high kill win, but they at least came out of that with 6 and 10 points for the win. That could be a start, but they have to keep their foot on the gas.
Posa's triple, all gaming global at 16 kills. So many incredible highlights from this match. What a curveball. Toughest plane path you can possibly get on a Wrangle, followed by the toughest circle you can get off the toughest plane path, and then this south side ending. Sonics second guessing themselves on their push on forward through those smokes.
I mean,